Hello friends, see that? Yes, I passed the Fachsprachenprüfung. I am literally very excited, very humbled finally to be on the other side of the fact that I have crossed over and I'm done with the first licensing exam. One down, now one more to go. So in this video, I'm going to kind of take you behind the scenes of my preparation journey. Which materials did I use? What worked for me? What didn't work? And what comes next for somebody who didn't train the EU? Plus, I'm also going to take you a bit in the experience of my actual exam day. How was the exam? How did it roll out? And yeah, which case did I get? And all that kind of stuff. So how did this journey even begin in the first place? How did I find myself here in Germany? So let's rewind a little bit. 2020, I finished my internship in Uganda. I was actually retained in the hospital. I did internship as a medical officer. So I started working in the hospital as a medical officer. I really planned to do that for only 2 years and not a maximum of more than 2 years. I was aiming that within this period of time, I am going to have to go and pursue an M.Med or a master's degree in medicine. My goal wasn't to do this in Uganda. I always wanted to do this abroad, either in the USA or somewhere in Europe. German, to be honest, wasn't on my radar at that point in time. But you know what? Life happened. So this is the backstory. My then girlfriend, now my wife, was living and studying in Germany at that point in time. So between that point of finishing and starting to work and after working, I had an engagement, we got married, and then of course we had to decide either she moves back to Uganda, we move together to the USA, or I simply move to Germany where she has already been established and we start a life here. So after kind of thinking about it, I was like, this makes sense. I think let's go to Germany together. Considering even the good healthcare system, the fact that the residence is not as restricted as it is in the US. Sometimes you might end up in a residence discipline that you're not willing to do. In Germany, there is a bit of flexibility for you to even switch from one residence to another in case you try out the other one and you don't feel like you like it. That's how I kind of find myself in the situation of coming here. So 2023 in April, I get onto the plane and come to Germany. Coming to Germany meant that I had to tackle the hurdle of the language. USA would have been easy, or maybe the UK or Australia, because of the fact that they speak English. Now, here I had chosen to come to Germany with no former experience with the language of German whatsoever. So I had to start from scratch and learn the language of Germany. One of the things I did within this period, other than just simply coming and sit here, I chose to come and do something called the BFD, or a Bundesfreiwilligendienst. It's a social program. By then I was still qualifying. I was 27 years. So during the BFD, this is the time I learned the language quite fast, but also gathered the necessary documents that were necessary for me to get the approval. Kind of deal with the German bureaucracy, because there is a plenty of bureaucracy in German. And fast forward, after that year, I made my application for the Anerkennung, or the recognition for me to work here as a medical doctor. For me, I simply had to apply in NRV as a state, despite the fact that NRV is actually quite a competitive state. For those of you who are not very familiar with how the German medical system works and how the qualifying and training system works, check out some of the videos I've put out on this very channel. There is a playlist. I think let me just link it somewhere up here. If you click on this link, you will go on there if you're a medical doctor and you're kind of interested in this journey. But for me, it had to be NRV. Why? Because we live in Bonn, and Bonn is home. So I wasn't going to go and say, let me do the qualification maybe somewhere in East Germany where it could be easier and then come back, decide no. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it, even if it is NRV and it is very competitive, and I'm just going to go for it. I chose NRV, submitted my application for the recognition, and then at that point is when the grinding started, preparing for the FSP. So my preparation actually for this exam was in 2 phases. The first phase was I prepared the exam for myself, and then at some point I enrolled into a preparation course. So during my own training, I got this book. I was simply going through it and trying to get it. Things were kind of very interesting, because this was kind of hard level German, because it is C1 or even C2 at some point, really hardcore medical stuff. At some point, because of how everything was going, I was recommended to that actually, if it were possible, I would do an observership, the so-called Hospitation. So what I did is I enrolled for a Hospitation. Thanks to this one wonderful guy here, a very wonderful medical doctor from Kenya who's trained in Germany, but he's like a brother to me. We go the same church here. He's a urologist. He recommended me, and then I went and did a hospitation, an observership at their hospital, kind of to get ready for this whole medical environment thing. And then ultimately for me to kind of concretize everything together and get laser focused on the exam and how the exams and questions are set and everything, I enrolled for a preparation course at one of the training schools in Cologne. It's called Mayberg Institute in Cologne. It was actually very wonderful because then I got to meet other guys who are from Spain, guys who are from England. The guys were saying, in England, the NHS is having a problem. So several guys had moved to here and they were preparing for their exams here. And then there were some people from Mexico, there were some guys from Namibia, some guys had trained in Ukraine. Were quite a number of people in that class who are preparing for this exam. One of the advantages for this preparation course is I was no longer in isolation. I was having some colleagues with whom I was preparing the language. The other things, I also received this book from the institution and very many other materials. I also got a Zugang. What's a Zugang? I got a password or an access to some of the sites that I used to study medicine here that are very important. Yes, that was phase 2, and now I had, of course, a group of people with whom I had to study. There was a discussion group. We did what is called Simulationen. We were just basically doing simulations, simulations of patient-doctor conversations and doctor-doctor conversations and all these kinds of stuff according to how the exam is in NRV until I was ready to go for the exam. So finally, the exam day came and this is how it rolled out. The day before, I had to make sure I had gone through most of the cases that usually are set in Dusseldorf. I did my exam in Dusseldorf. After doing my simulation with all the colleagues and everything, I had to make sure I sleep early enough. And then the following day, I woke up, I dressed up smartly, got on a train and headed to Dusseldorf. Got to Dusseldorf on time. I had never been to that Ärztekammer building. Reached there the first time. I found some colleague with whom I had been studying who were there kind of just chilling. But this whole time I was trying to calm down. Time came, I was called. I handed in my identification, everything. So when the time came in to go for the exam, you leave everything behind. You are given a pen and a paper. I was led to a room, but before I entered the room, I was told to read the instructions on the door. And then that instruction said, here you are a doctor in an emergency situation. You are going to see a patient and you're going to attend to them and take history very well and then make sure that you've come up with a diagnosis. That session was going to last 20 minutes. So after reading instructions, I entered the room. I found two ladies. One lady was a patient and one was an examiner. So one of the ladies actually who was a patient was kind of a bit obese away. So I was like, oh, maybe could this be obstructive sleep apnea or something like that. So we start talking, I start conversing, and then I realized, this lady is actually having diabetes mellitus. So I go with my clerkship, wie geht's Ihnen, was führt Sie zu uns, warum sind Sie uns gekommen, was sind Ihre Symptome. I basically carried out my whole clerkship within a period of about 18 minutes. And then the rest of the time, I simply just started cracking jokes left, right, center. And the patient was laughing, she was cracking jokes back, which I think actually really interested the examiner. She was impressed at this, because the whole core aspect of this thing is that they want a demonstration that you are able to pick very salient information from the patient, but also relay it and explain some of the fears of the patient, because the patients ask, doctor, am I not going to die? Maybe some of them in their family history, they have people who have been having things like cancer and all that, and be like, doctor, could that be because of this? And don't I have this problem? So your issue right here is to kind of alleviate those anxieties, but explain to them, but in a medical way. So that's something I did quite excellently, and I saw the examiner smiling all the way, giving all the marks. I was like, yes, this is flowing very nicely. Before I knew it all, the clock was done. And then I went to part 2. Part 2 also lasts 20 minutes. Before you walk in, I read instructions. Here, you're going to sit here, you're going to take your notes, prepare your doctor's letter. It's called Arztbrief, doctor's letter. But also you're going to receive a phone call from the lab. They're going to explain to you some results that you need to take note of. So basically, I go in, I find a table, I find another piece of paper, I find also a telephone on the table, and I sit down, I start making my notes. To be honest, at this point in time, the time was kind of late. I didn't feel like it was quite enough. But anyway, I went through very fast. I wrote quite fast. And within about 5 minutes of writing, I received a phone call. The person on the other side told me the name of the patient, told me the lab results that I was supposed to note down. When they were just about to hang out, I realized I hadn't gotten what they had said. Like, hey, können Sie bitte für mich das wiederholen? And of course, they're like, yeah, they repeated. Anyway, I noted that down. And then before I knew it all, 20 minutes were done. third station. So I go into for the third station. I found a man and a woman sitting in front of a committee. When I entered, this is something that I had actually just practiced once. I didn't know it was going to be very helpful, but I really thank God that I was preparing with a lady who at some point told me, you know what, Milk, don't present from the paper, just present off head. Before I even sit down, they're like, hand over your doctor's letter. So I couldn't read what I had written down. I had to present off head, and they want to have an interaction with you. So I basically had to make sure that I had everything on my head. It's not something I prepared for, but I was kind of just composed and, prepared to go for it anyway. I gave them the document, sat down, introduced myself. Hallo, ich bin Melk, blah, blah, blah. Asked me a few questions. Woher kommst du? Ich komme aus Uganda. They asked me, hast du schon einmal eine Hospitation gemacht? I told them, yes, I did a hospitation. I went on with that kind of stuff. And then we went on with the presentation. So I started. 56-year-old lady came in. I went on with the presentation. Before I finished, they started firing me questions. What do you think is the diagnosis? Why do you think that's the diagnosis? Which medicine do you want to give? How do you manage such a case? It was to and fro, and I actually thought these are like 10 minutes, but before I knew it, all the 20 minutes were done. The bell had rung. I thanked them for their time and I got out. The lady was kind of kind. The gentleman was kind of strict in a way, but so one of the things they asked me in there, they asked me a term that we had always been using in the preparation, the term antiglycine, and I had actually never taken time to look up this word, what antiglycine means, like the literal lay meaning of the word antiglycine. I know it means there is a deviation in a certain parameter in the body. For example, it can be hypertensive antiglycine or sugar antiglycine, something like that. But the guy asked me, what does it actually mean in real life? Anyway, but later he was kind enough. He was like, you know what, antiglycine means if the train is on its rails and then it slides off, that means antiglycine. I'm like, that means antiglycine. So if you don't know antiglycine, now you know. I was kind of confident that I had passed the exam, but of course, the exam, that pressure is a bit there and all that, but I was sure I had passed the exam. Ultimately, I got out of the exam. I had to come home because I was going to get the following day the results. For people who do the exam in the morning in Düsseldorf, they get the exams in the evening. If you do your exam midday or in the evening, you get your results the following day. And the following day, I received this email here, which is here on my computer that I've just shown you guys at the beginning. Where is it? They told me, congratulations, Herr Dr. Melk Kunyu. Sie haben an den Prüfung teilgenommen und bestanden. I don't know if you guys can read that exactly, something like that. And I was very excited. I'm like, oh my God, finally I'm done with the first step, But I was very happy that I passed this exam, because then you also get the confidence to go for the second exam. To be honest, I felt sure. I'm like, you know what? I think let me just enroll for the second exam. Sofort. Let me just go for the second exam right away. Anyway, that would have been a mistake. That was it. That's how I passed my exam. So what's now next for me? The next thing should be that I should be able to get a license to start working. The problem is that for you to get a license, you have to first get a job offer, and then you apply to get your license, which is called the Berufserlaubnis, that temporary working license that helps you work for some time. The challenge is that within this state, which is called NRV, where there is Bonn, Cologne, Düsseldorf, Münster, and all these kinds of cities, it is like the capital of West Germany, and everybody comes here. And so most hospitals here are kind of looking for people who have done the second exam already. And so that's kind of the conundrum. After throwing around some few applications here and there and seeing that the response wasn't being that good, I chose to just go on and prepare for the second exam that I should do. There are some states which actually I'm going to recommend the next video coming up. I'm going to kind of just talk about all the states and how they go about and play about in their medical licensing process. But as of NRV, I think NRV is one of the hardest there is, and maybe München, but I'm going to make a comprehensive video concerning that. I'm preparing for the Kenntnisprüfung. I am hoping to take it in the next 4 months maybe or something, and once I finish the exam, then the jobs are available and now I'll be able to work. But until then, right now, I'm just preparing for it. Let me just put this out there, but if you're somebody who hasn't yet come to Germany and you've not yet started on this process, or if you're a doctor and you're already in German and you're thinking, which state should I go to? I think the first state I would recommend is Sachsen-Anhalt. Sachsen-Anhalt has a very good turnover rate, especially there are so many offers of jobs once one is done with the first exam, and so it's easier to transition into the process. But I'm good. I know I'm going to get done with this exam, and with the Kenntnisprüfung, and very soon I'm going to start residency. I'm just chilling and relaxing. I know it's coming out. So these are some of the things I would recommend. First of all, learn the language early. Make sure you crack your language as early as possible, because the rate limiting step is the language. The second thing is, once you master the language, enroll to the preparation course as soon as possible, because there you're going to get all the necessary materials that are helpful for you to go on with the preparation of the language, but also you'll get colleagues with whom you can do the simulations of the exam. If you found this video a bit inspiring and nice, then you might consider checking out this particular video here. Here I'm basically talking about and going into all the details of how you can apply for the German medical licensing exam step by step and what it actually takes. You can actually check out this whole playlist. This whole playlist is just about the whole process of what you need to do to get done with this process. And if you want to get in touch very specifically, you can of course reach out to me on Instagram. You can DM me at melkunyu, and there I'll always be ready to answer your questions, because yeah, many guys have been reaching out in the DM sections, and I always take the trouble to answer all the questions in there and have those personal conversations with you guys. And yes, I guide here and there in how I am actually working on a website that's going to be very helpful with all this material and make everything quite obvious. So look out for the website. It's coming up. It's something in the offing that we are working on, and yes, I intend to put some materials on there that will be very helpful. But until next one, bye and peace.